I'm going to quickly paint a flower. The flower is going to be very, very tight. The background is going to be very, very loose. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to wet the paper from top to bottom. This is not a time to have a little tiny brush. Want the paper to be quite wet. Okay, just let that drain for a second. And we're going to apply any old red. Then we come in with the blue. It can go over the flower, I don't mind. And then at the bottom here, we'll come in with just a little bit of green. And what we're going to do is we're going to move that paint down. We're going to quickly go over the other side. We're going to put in some blue here. This is fun. It's exciting. And we're gonna spray that down a little bit. I might just tip this up. Hold on. I might just lose you. I'm gonna turn it upside down and let the paint run this way. And we'll turn it upside down. I might just apply a little bit stronger paint here and there. Maybe a little bit more green down here. And a little bit of green in there. Don't want the green to touch the red because it'll go to a grey. So do watch that. That's why we put the red, then the blue, and then the green. I didn't want the green to be anywhere near the red if I could avoid it. Now what we're going to do now is hopefully throw, that isn't going to work. I'm just going to have to put this in a horizontal position just for a second. I'll be right back with you just a minute. There, I've got my sword on there. And all we got to do is sit back and watch it dry. I'll just focus in on it a little bit so you can see it. You can see some pencil marks. If this is still wet, which I think it might be, I like to put a little bit more red up there. No, it's too late. I will get a big blossom here if I do it. I may just wait for it to dry and then add to it, but now it's in the danger stage where you do not want to touch it because you will surely have a blossom. Now my sort is doing exactly what I wanted. It's sucking up the paint, and the paint is sliding down there, and so there's going to be like some little teardrops all over here. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use a very dry brush. I don't particularly want these pieces of sort on my petal. It's got to be very dry. Take those off. Come on. There you go. If I had used a wet brush, I would have surely had a big blossom there. And I'm drying it on a tissue in my hand. Come on guys, get out of here. Okay, looks like it's drying. Looks like I got some really nice teardrops coming down. Okay, now you can see the background has dried and the sort has worked its magic, so to speak. You can see how the sort has left a little teardrop down here. The sort landed thereabouts and then it produced a little teardrop. And I think it's working out really nice. So I'm going to paint this. First of all, I'm going to start on the foliage right here, or the petals. I'm going to use an underwash of transparent yellow, which is Windsor yellow, and it's also a staining color. So when I put the green on, I won't be able to lift the yellow. And so I'm going to start here, and basically how I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it petal by petal as I work my way down the sheet. Okay, I've mixed up the color, and I'm just going to come in here, and I'm just going to get my shoulder out the way so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just applying the color yellow right here. Incidentally, you will see the pencil marks. I'm going to leave them there so you could see them. It may not be desirable to leave the pencil marks if you were going to sell this and put it into a gallery. Some people would have problems with the pencil marks. I don't have a problem right now because this will not be sold. I'll come round here and we just sweep that round, right round that pencil mark. Sweep that round there. And sweep that down there. Take the brush like that and just sweep it round right like that. Come across there, sweep that round there. I'm going to sweep that pencil brush right round there. See, I didn't do anything that you can't do, did I? I got a little touch up there. Now I'm going to let that dry. Then I'm going to come back and paint some green. Now the yellow is dry and I'm ready to start to paint the petals green. But do not go dark too quick. Put down a light wash, then build up the colors. If you put a dark wash on, then you've got nowhere to go. So we're going to put a very light wash, and I'm going to do petal by petal. Let me do one that which you can easily see what I'm doing. Let's put this petal in here. It's going to be really light. Now you can go dark. Forming a shadow in there. Okay, that one's looking good. Let's do this one. And we just apply just a little bit of dark right there. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's do this one. This ought to be fairly, well, it's still a little bit dry. Let me just dry that. Now I want that to be a hard line there. Come right round like that. And while I'm at it, I might as well just darken this up just a fraction. Now this edge I want to be a soft edge. So I dry the brush and I just lose that edge right there. Let's paint this guy. And we just darken this little edge here as this edge is folding away from the light, so we just darken that just a tad. Okay, we can do this one now. We come right here with a sweep of the brush. And we go down there. And we come right in here. Now we come over and do this guy. And we put the shadow in right there. And we break that edge up just a little bit. Dry the brush and let's just break that edge up. Looking good. Now we can tackle this guy. The light is coming from this way, from the left going to the right. We just break that edge up. I'm going to quickly dry that. And we'll paint this guy in. We might as well put this stem in. There's basically the plan, and you can see it's beginning to start to develop. Now I will take a smaller brush and start to detail this a little bit closer, but you got the general idea. It looks like it's beginning to dry, or well, it's still a little wet before I can continue. Let me just dry this. Okay, I think that should be dry. Okay, I'm going to take a little darker approach now to the shadows. And let's see what we got here. I'm using a rigger right here. I want to break that edge up just a little bit. There, I think that'll get it. Okay, let's try this guy here a little bit. That ought to get it, break the edge up, and I think it'd be great. There you go. And we'll do the same up here. We'll break that edge up. Okay, how about this? Yeah, this could do. We'll break that edge up. And we do the same for this guy right here. And we'll lose this edge. Now we do need darken this little edge here. It's because it's in the dark and it's going to come out here and then come into the light. So we're going to have to change that a little bit. Try to get it. I'm going to let that dry for a second or two. Now I'm going to paint the actual flower in right here. Now this has right here an inner petal right here. This is going to be the darkest part. So I'm going to put that in right now. This is going to be the darkest, and I don't want anything to be darker than this. This has got to be the darkest part, and this is going to be my judge on how I paint these two. So I'm going to put this guy in fairly dark. Let's see. Right here. Take this edge, lose this edge a little bit here. I'm going to just let that dry for a minute. I don't think it's quite dark enough. So I can make it a little darker by putting the same color over the top of it. But before I do that, I want to be absolutely sure it's dry. Then I'm going to lose that edge right there. There. Okay, let's try this real quick. Okay, let's see what we got now. Quickly rinse the brush, dry the brush, and break this edge up. Dry the brush and break the edge up. Let's come over and do the same for this side. Okay, we'll turn it upside down and see what we've got, or right way round rather. And there we are. Okay, now you understand this is just the underpainting, what we've got. I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes. And we lose that edge. And we just darken this just a tad. And we'll and this. I'm going to darken this up just a little more. Alright, but I'm going to finish off this tulip right now. This part has got to be done with a very, very dry brush. Drier than that. I'm introducing some dark, which is ultramarine blue. Okay, let's try the other side. I'm going to let that dry, then I'll put my darks in. Alright, I'm going to flip this board upside down, or correct way round. And while that's drying, we'll just put in a few raindrops. What I did, I painted in 2 small dew drops or raindrops. I think they're just a little bit too small for you to see how I did them, so I'm going to do them on a piece of scrap paper and then you can see how it was done. Okay, here is the enlarged dewdrops. I felt like on the painting that we just did you couldn't really see them, so I've enlarged them on a piece of scrap paper and I've got them outlined here where they're going to go. Alright, the first thing to do is you've got to remember that this needs to be a little darker up here. I'm going to paint that in a little darker. And then just lose that edge. Pull that down a little bit. Now let's do the other one. And we lose that edge. Got to be really dry. We better lose that edge. Okay, now we're going to have to dry them. Now we're going to put a shadow in around the bottom here. We'll make that just a little bit bigger. And we'll do likewise for this one. You run that up just a tad. And that's all there's to it. Then you just come in here and you just take out a nice light spot where the light is hitting, and then we put another one where the light is hitting right here. Now naturally you won't have that edge that I've got, but this basically is what I did. What I might do, let me just make it a little bit more realistic. We'll make it just a little bit larger. There you have it. Just remember, where you place them on the flower is really important, or on the petal is really important. You certainly wouldn't want it on a petal that was pointing directly towards the ground, because the raindrop would just run right off the leaf. You want it in a semi position where it's about to roll down the leaf. I've turned the painting upside down on the assumption that we don't like the background. Now you could do one or two things. You could wet the paper and put some darker colors and let them run down just as we did before. Or maybe we could paint a darker background on dry paper. So let's do that. We're going to paint 3 or 4 different colors on the dry paper and see how it comes out. I've mixed up 4 colors into 4 little saucers, plastic saucers. I'm going to move them over here just a little bit, and we'll see how we do. I'm going to start right here, because I know that if I don't have something to break this up, it's going to be a very difficult task to go and do both sides simultaneously. So I'm going to start here, and I've already got a break here. So I can start here, come down here, and quit about here, and then do the other side. How's that? just have fun, relax, and just paint away. Oh, we don't want those little guys running down there messing up. We'll come in here. Maybe a little bit of violet there. How's that? Let's pretend we got some light coming in here. Let's pretend this could be the sky. Okay, let's go over the other side. There's a little problem there. I got a hard edge. I have to use a very dry brush. What about if we was to put some water on our brush and play around with this? Very dry. How long did that take? Less than 5 minutes? Now you may have to come in with a little tiny brush and correct some of these little white spaces, fill those in. There's a few little spaces there that we missed, or I missed.